In space, no one can hear you scream, or so they tell us the Alien movies. We all know that the space is a huge place with stars, planets and whatnot, and what is shown in those movies can be real. Or could it? Check out our list of 15 shocking secrets about space. Number 15. The face on Mars. NASA's exploration on Mars shocked the world when it released images from the surface of Mars that looked like a face. Some theorists even claimed that the image is not actually a glimpse of what some off parts of Mars look like, but it is a face in itself. This image of face is, according to conspiracy theorists, a sign that an alien civilization existed or exists in Mars, and they were called dun 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 Martians. Number 14. Interstellar. There are already several space explorations made for the purpose of finding a planet similar to Earth, if not exactly like Earth. And through these space missions or explorations, by the help of sophisticated technology, man has seen possibilities that a planet like Earth, able to sustain life, exists out there, given that there are millions or billions or even more possibilities that from among the stars outside our own galaxy, there lies a planet so close to Earth's own characteristics. If it still lies there, it's one lazy planet. Come on, planet, you have stuff to do. Number 13. Planet X. Theories claim that planets we have learned from school are not actually the only planets that exist in the solar system. According to Planet X theory, this unnamed planet is a gigantic planet so big that when it comes close to Earth, everything we know becomes nothing. There are claims that the existence of this planet greatly affects Earth as manifested through earthquakes and some notable weather changes. It's kinda like having a fight with your girlfriend. You suddenly know nothing and she manifests herself through earthquake and some noticeable weather changes. Number 12. Crab pulsar. First observed by Chinese astronomers in 1054 AD, the crab has long been a subject of numerous studies involving the outer space, the sky, or the universe. It is considered as a young neutron star located at the center of the Crab Nebula and one of the few optical pulsars identified. Number 11. Hypernova. There's a supernova and now there's also a hypernova as well. A supernova is still collapsing on itself and therefore blowing up. A hypernova is the worst kind of blowing up, when that same star has a mass that is about 200 times bigger than the sun and collapses into a black hole. A hypernova happens. It's not a good thing for those planets that are in the way of this exploding star. The theory in this one is that a hypernova was the cause of the Ordovician-Silurian extinction, which is also known to be the third largest extinction in the history of Earth, followed by the Interrapti-Grapti-Fertilization extinction and the Dukakapupu one. Number 10. USA 193 spy satellite. The Vandenberg Air Force Base has launched a rocket that contained a satellite called USA 193 back in 2006. This was part of an intelligence program of the National Reconnaissance Office and basically it was a spy satellite. It had trouble keeping orbit, however, and it was predicted that by 2007 the satellite would crash on Earth. The US government soon announced that they were going to send a missile up into the space to destroy the satellite in 2008. The question was why? It was because the satellite was said to contain hydrazine, which is a kind of fuel that is toxic. On February 2008, there are people who believe that the government did not tell the whole story and that they were scared of the satellite coming into possession of another country. Number 9. Unidentified object. A starburst galaxy called Messier 82 can be found about 12 million light-years away from Earth. It also shines the brightest among the universe. Back in 2012, some astronomers had discovered strange radio waves that have been said to come from an unidentified object in Messier 82. Would this mean that there are signs of life in another galaxy? Could be. Or someone forgot to turn off the space shuttle stereo system. Number 8. Mars nuclear explosion. There have been rumors circulating that Mars can be livable, but there are also theories that there is life on the red planet as well. But that same life was said to be taken due to a nuclear explosion that occurred. Dr. John Brandenburg had come up with a theory that there were actually two civilizations living on Mars. Those two were called Sidonians and Utopians. He explained that another extraterrestrial force had destroyed the two using nuclear warfare, and knowing that there is enough uranium and thorium on the planet could actually make it feasible. And unfortunately, that nuclear explosion could also happen to us by the same alien force, also known as schizophrenia. Number 7. Majestic 12. We have the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and now the Majestic 12. They are secret organizations made up of scientists as well as politicians headed by the President Harry Truman of the US. The objective of this organization was like the X-Files, to discover extraterrestrial beings. Did they found any? We don't know because the truth is still out there. Number 6. Dark energy forces. Something you'd probably hear from Star Wars, right? There is a theory that there are dark energy forces that could alter the gravity at a very large scale. And when we say large, we mean cosmically large, which is pretty big. The dark energy forces are called just that, and they can cause a fast acceleration of gravitational change. We can also pretty much call this the dark side of the Force too. Number 5. Moon base. If Dr. Evil in the Austin Power movies could make a moon base, it is believed that there really is a secret moon base that has been built on the far side of the moon, or as we can probably say, the dark side of the moon. Some say it dates all the way back to when Nazis took over to the US, to even aliens. A lot of Apollo missions, however, have been sent to the other side and have taken photographs, but there is no lunar base. It doesn't really help that sometimes the evidence that had been discovered turned out to be media play from promoting popular movies. But if there really is a secret moon base up there, hopefully there's no supervillain in it trying to plot the destruction of the Earth. Number 4. Milky Way transport. You know that scene in Men in Black where everything pretty much zooms out and you suddenly see that we are in a Milky Way which is actually inside the marble and which is picked up by an alien in a train station? Well, a theory has come up that by combining the map of the dark matter in the Milky Way galaxy with the latest Big Bang copy in order to generate an explanation of the universe as well as predict the existence of space-time tunnels, it will tell us that the galaxy could actually have these tunnels and that maybe the tunnel would be as big as the galaxy itself. It sounds like a Doctor Who episode waiting to happen, isn't it? Number 3. Rogue planets. It has been theorized that there are actually other planets floating around in space and not revolving around the axis that the planets as well as their moons are revolving on. There may be actually twice as many planets that are not revolving on axis, almost as many as the stars actually. What makes it more surprising is that some of these planets are thought to be as big as Jupiter. And we know Jupiter is pretty huge already. It is said that if one of those giant planets get into orbit with our own planets, one of our own planets will become a rogue planet and move away from their orbit. Number 2. The Lucifer Project. The name of this supposed project may be a little creepy. It was said that NASA actually made a mission to the moons of the planet Jupiter to see if they could turn Jupiter itself into another sun. Although there may be no evidence of this theory, the effect of doing such will enable the moons of Saturn to warm up for probable colonization. Coincidentally, NASA also announced their budget of $255 million in order to send a ship to Europa, which is Jupiter's largest moon. Number 1. The Dead Cosmonaut. Back in the 1960s, the space race was being held as both the US and the Soviet Union were trying to see who among them would be able to get further into exploring space. In 1957, however, the Soviet Union had already launched the very first man-made satellite called Sputnik, and in 1961 their own Yuri Gagarin became the first person to go into space. Although we know this is a fact, two brothers from Italy, the Giudica-Cordelia brothers, said that Yuri Gagarin wasn't the first. Week before Gagarin's launch into space, the Giudica-Cordelia brothers, by setting up a listening station in their home country to obstruct transmissions between the ground and a spaceship operation for both the US and Soviet Union, they had apparently detected and even recorded some radio transmissions of a cosmonaut slowly dying while drifting in space. Of course, the Soviet Union had denied their claim, but people who believe this think the Soviet government concealed this information to keep their country image as the leader in space exploration intact. It's safe to say they wanted to keep their bragging rights. Do you feel confused? I know that I am. Come on, NASA, government, on whoever is responsible. You have to start telling us things. We're on the same team. Team Earth. Come on. If you like the video and you want someone to tell you the truth because we're on the same team, press the subscribe button now.